people, I don't know, they kind of think it's a bad thing to have the sun in their photograph. I guess if you're standing in front of the sun in the back of it, it is bad. But who cares? Take a picture of the sun. I mean, it's good. This is a point shoot camera attached to the telescope. And when I say attached, I mean my hands. Okay. When you get these telescopes, it's fairly simple. You just stick this on the eyepiece and take a photo. And if you work at it for a while, you can get an image like this. This ball is 865,000 miles across, instead of 113 Earths, just across the diameter. Volume-wise, put almost 1 million Earths inside there. So these little prominences, or solar flares, as some people call them, they're technically called prominences, are each at least 3 or 4 times the size of the Earth. And you can take these images with any camera. I've seen guys do this with a cell phone camera and get an image fairly close to that. There's a little bit of processing involved, which is cheating, basically. You take your image and work on it on the computer a little bit. But most of this data is real, and that's the actual color of the scopes. This darkness here, anybody know what that darkness is? You know what that is? No. Clouds. Okay. And a lot of guys like Dr. Dundee or my astronomy buddies would show this photograph as being horrible, but to me that's just absolutely beautiful. Now the DSLRs, I know some of you brought your DSLR with me, thank you. My best side is forward facing. DSLRs have the advantage of being able to allow you to change the exposure, anything. You can change every setting on the camera, the ISO, the exposure, depth of field, all these things come in handy. They're fairly difficult to connect to a telescope, but once you get it connected, you can take some fantastic shots. This image on this banner here was taken with a DSLR. These were not. This one was. Not to mention the fact that you can get some outstanding photographs of the sun in general. This is a very low, obviously a very low ISO setting on the DSLR. Very quick shutter speed. You can take this with one hand hanging out your window. There's nothing hard about taking this photograph. I hope I'm getting across the point that this is just fantastically beautiful to me. Here's another image, and this is just sunset here in Georgia. This image, Don Brown, my friend Don Brown, took these images, and I believe they're a little bit yellow in my face. I think I could have done better. But they certainly are beautiful. Anything weird. That's something I was taking spot holding the DSLR, no tripod, nothing. So the whole trick is just to look at it, because this is here every day. Most people just look down, they're texting and working on a computer, they're whatever, they don't ever look up. This is out there every day. Take pictures. This is a DSLR attached to a camera, and as you can see, a lot of the finger prominences. This is the same day, same event as the last photograph. A lot of the fainter things are coming through. You see some of the surface features here. These little black lines on the sun are just prominences that are facing us, coming at us. So that's not as good as you can get with the DSLR, but that's as good as I have the patience to get with the DSLR, because I have more expensive stuff. But you can certainly get a good image with something. That's not a bad image there. This is 2 separate images. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. A lot of solar astronomers, there's really not many of them, but the ones there are, will take 2 separate exposures. Very low exposure for the surface detail, you see all the granulation below, and a very high exposure to see the prominences. This is what's called a looping palm, and this image is flying out. And the Earth is probably about the size of that little node right there. So this is a very large feature, okay? And you can see them with your DSLR if you work at it. Of course, you can use a solar telescope. And that brings me to the next item. The Lunt, I use a lot of Lunt solar telescopes, and that's just the company name. That's a 6-inch refractor from Lunt, and it's the most, the biggest amateur scope you can get right now. With the astrophysics mount, you can spend $20,000 on a setup like that one, or you can spend $400 on this setup, get pretty much the same full pixel photographs. We might get a little more detail with this, but it's not really the aperture that counts in solar astronomy as much as it is the quality of the filters. And we'll talk about those in a second. There's the sun there too. Ever seen that? This is the Lake Jackson dam, and I was just driving by, on the way to work one day, and I said, hey, that's pretty cool. I thought that was a beaver standing on rocks, but it turned out just to be a tree stump. But it looks This image was taken by my friend James Kevin Ty in the Philippines yesterday with a DSLR. That's the space station up there. I don't know what Zarya means. It might be some sort of translation of space station. But that's just a quick shot through this camera on a tripod. The space station across in front of the sun. That didn't strike you as being cool. Probably a prediction or something. And of course, these are clouds going around. The beauty involved here is fascinating to me. By the way, the sun is not an egg shape. It's round. It's just my stupidity with the PowerPoint presentation. There's another DSLR quick photograph that's hanging out in the truck window on the interstate. Clouds, beautiful. Anybody ever seen these before? You can see the color in this from back there? It's kind of hard for me to see. How about sun? I have no idea what that is, except I saw it when I was driving to my observing field at Charlie Elliott Wildlife Management Area, and whipped out my handy DSLR. Sir?
You know, sometimes look up in the sky and you see the sun, a lot of clouds,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like it hurts your eye.
That's an excellent point. Sir.
Hurt your eye?
For long viewing, yeah, but that's how the Chinese and the Mayans and the Mesoamerican culture studied the sun and discovered sunspots, by waiting for it to be just those right cloud conditions.
When you look at it, you can see it perfectly done.
Yeah.
Stare at it.
The clouds provide a natural filter for the sun, and a lot of people take photographs that way, and the Chinese astronomers, that's how they sketch sunspots. That way, I wouldn't stare at it for more than a couple of hours, or maybe a few minutes, and the chances that the clouds are going to go apart while you're looking at it are fairly high. But you can look at the sun for 20, 30 seconds without going blind, but it's not going to be enjoyable. But there you go. Now that's what we call looking up and appreciating. Because there it is. And when you see the perfect roundness of it, you realize it's a star. You realize it's just a big round thing floating in space. The mind tends to wander. You can start thinking about stuff that's a little more important than what you owe, what you feel, drifts you away. So that's a great point. That's how everybody said it in the old days. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool photograph. There was a bunch of cows over here. This was better. And I guess it's some sort of rainbow or some sort of refraction in clouds. Does anybody know what this is? Anybody got a guess? Okay, this is a DSLR shot on a comet. You think it's a comet? Well, it kind of looks like a comet, but it's not a comet. And you're not going to believe what it is. These are all stars. If somebody was asking me about star-filled shots, that's the moon, that's not the sun. It's just very, very overexposed. That's water. This, the horizon's right here. This was taken at the Charlie Elliott Wildlife Management Area, and that's the space shuttle departing from Florida. Okay, from 390 miles away. And that's a 45-second exposure. And on my Mac, of course, the Superior operates it. When you zoom that up, you can actually see the layers of clouds. That right there is a layer of cloud. It blasts off, comes above the trees. You know, the space shuttle doesn't go straight up. It comes up and turns sideways and starts circling over. And then once the booster rocket stopped, it stayed in the fluid. So I thought that was just a really cool shot.
So where were you when you took this?
I was sitting in the field in the middle of Charlie Elliott Wildlife Management Area in Mansfield, Georgia. There was a family of pigs about 40 feet away. I was just by myself out there with a DSLR. I knew it was happening that night, but I had no idea what you might see. But it looked just like that with your eyes. No, I was staying away from the pigs. The mother was about the size of me. I used to be about 100 pounds, 70 pounds heavier. And the mother was my size, and I didn't mess with her. But anyway, that's something you can do with your DSLR. Of course, this is not the sun, but the point is, look up. When I was outside tonight, I noticed I could see this with my naked eye. And this is not all that great of a shot. Dr. Betty will tell you this wouldn't pass muster with any of the guys in the astronomy club. You know, it's blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's absolutely beautiful. This is the Orion Nebula in a DSLR in a 10-second image. You know, it's held on the tripod and put the 10-second exposure. There you go. Of course, I had a zoom lens. But you can see this with your naked eye out there at night. Just look up. And it looks just like that. You can see it in Dr. Betty's telescope very easily. You may not have full color in it, but you will see it and you will be absolutely blown away if you've ever seen that before. This is a perfect time.